Hi, this is an overview of the new enhancements in the SAM Recovery Portal. First thing you're going to want to do is log in, navigate to your lead entity site. And the things we're going to take a look at today are the new map enhancements, the new reporting features, and the goals on the umbrella project. So first, some new concepts. We've implemented a new data hierarchy to SRP, which includes some PRISM elements. So the new elements are worksite and property. So remember, umbrella features are related grant projects that are typically phased projects that usually occur over a long period of time, and we can capture goals at the umbrella level. So think of Mill Creek, for example, in the Snake. Phased project is taken many years to complete, and the projects are all related to one another. That's an umbrella project. Next in the hierarchy, we have the worksite point, which is a primary point. It's derived from the first worksite location. Next, we have worksite points. So remember that in any project, any grant project can have at least one, or many worksites associated with it. And each worksite can have one or many properties. Worksites can also have one or many activity locations. Now, activity locations, think of those as where the activities, restoration activities happen on the landscape, where the barrier is removed or where the repairing and planting occurs. So let's take a look at the project map. So here we have the primary points for each project, again, derived from the first worksite point. And the circles, the large gray circles with the numbers in the middle, those are our umbrellas. Looks like Snake has quite a few. We can turn those off and turn the primary points off, zoom in a little bit, and turn on the worksite points. Now these are a one-to-many with the project point. You can have one or several work sites for any one project, and they're symbolized accordingly. So projects that are completed, for the most part, will have completed work sites. In some cases, some work sites may be amended out, but it usually tracks with the primary point symbology in terms of status. Now for activities, we zoom in a little bit further, select the points, lines, and polygons, and these will bring in the activities related to each of the projects. Again, using similar symbology here in the legend. You can click on any one of these shapes and go directly to the project page. And you'll see the similar geography available on the project map. Now to take a look at properties, we're going to navigate to a property that's coming over from PRISM. Not all PRISM projects have properties, but when they are available, they'll be displayed here on the project map. And then details about the properties will be available on the location tab. You can click on the location tab, and for any of these 5 properties, simply click on the link and it'll take you to the project property detail page. Get more information about that particular property. So what this means now is that in SRP, we can collect work sites, which is now required for all new projects, at least one work site. You may add properties if there's an acquisition component. And then you can also add activity locations, which are optional. So that's it for the map. Next, we're going to take a look at the umbrella and setting goals. And navigate back to Snake. Under the portfolio dashboard is where you're going to find your library of umbrella projects. So we're going to take a look at this North Fork project. We can see that there's 7 grant projects participating in this umbrella. And we can see that we have some new features. We have project costs, metric rollup, which is new, and then the project timeline. So project costs is going to give you the most recent costs based on project status. And then metric rollup is going to give you your goals and where you are relative to those goals in terms of progress. And then finally, at the bottom, we have the project timeline, which gives you an idea of when the project started and the various stages that were involved to complete the project. So let's edit some goals. We're just going to take a look at what this looks like in the roll-up view. Notice if you mouse across any of the project numbers, the project name will appear. And you can see how each of these projects are contributing toward this goal. So this particular project completed 0.79 miles of stream mile treated for channel reconfiguration and connectivity. And this total is represented here. Now, if we want to adjust this goal, we have to go to the umbrella details page. Click on goals. It'll load all the metrics associated with every single related project in the umbrella. You don't need to set goals for everything. You can choose the ones that are most important for the project. So if we want to edit this particular goal, I click on the pencil. I'm going to change this value to 3 and click apply. And notice it's updated to 3. So now I can go and view that result by going back to the dashboard, going to my metric rollup page. And now I see that my goal has now been set to 3. So I've accomplished 2.62 miles, but I've added additional 0.38. So this 0.38 is to be determined. I don't have any projects in the system that are going to address this 0.38. So if to meet my goal, I will need to plan for and create a new project or projects that will address this new goal. That's how that works. Now you can use the same umbrella tool for ad hoc queries. Let's take a look at that. Go to the portfolio dashboard again, and you can use this filter panel to select, let's see, all of our active projects that are restoration, for example. And it's not going to save it permanently as an umbrella. It's just a way of looking at the data on the fly. So notice it's applied my filter. I can look at all the associated funders for this particular filter, which is active and restoration. I can also look at all the projects that are participating in terms of their current status and the amounts that they have available. And it's also going to give me all of my active metrics that are currently in progress because these are not completed yet. It'll give you an entire metric roll up. No goals, but it will give you a metric roll up and a timeline. So you can use this same tool for querying the data on the fly and viewing the results, the funding, the metric rollup, and the Gantt using the umbrella view. Next, we're going to take a look at reports. Notice we have the same filter panel. We have a couple new reports here, and these are viewing the data by activities and work sites. So this is by geographic area. So if you have a lead entity custom layer, be great to use these new reports here, or you can use any of the geographic areas we have available in the system, such as cities, counties, HUCs, etc. But for Snake's example, we do have custom layers. They have provided major and minor spawning areas. So for this particular example, we're going to take a look at Asotin Creek and view the activities within Asotin Creek. So what that means is all the activities that bisect Asotin Creek minor spawning area will get picked up in the report. So it's always a two-step process. You make your filter selection first, and then you run your report. So I've made my selection. So the report will return Asotin Creek as a geographic area, and these are all the projects that fall within that geographic area. Now I can filter further by selecting additional filters. So maybe I just want to look at all the restoration within this geographic area and then apply. Now, if I want to look at this in a tabular format, such as Excel, I can export to Excel and I can filters and query in this tabular format and save it locally if I want to. Let's pretend I really like this report and I want to come back to my report section and run it again next time I log into SRP. Then you can save report as, and I'll give it a name. And I can give it a description. Now, if I want to share this with other lead entities that have access to my lead entity site or members of my lead entity that I want to share this report with, I click this button. That means anybody that has access to your lead entity site will have access to this report. Leaving it unchecked only means that you can see it. So you can save that and notice that I have a new saved report. Now, if I want to edit this, edit the name or the description or share that with other individuals, I can click the share. And if I want to remove it, I simply click the X to remove the report. And that's it. Thanks for watching.